This is Josh Bycer from GameWisdom.com. Hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any suggestions for games you'd like me to look at here on the channel, please let me know. Hello everybody, welcome to this week's Dissecting Design. We are going with a strange one this time. We're going to be taking a look back at Brutal Legend. This is what could arguably be considered the last AAA game from Double Fine Studios. And this is a very unique game, not just from the company, but in terms of AAA in general. First off, I gotta say, I love this opening the start menu for Brutal Legend. As we go into it, it basically going through the album here. As you can see, I'm always love when developers integrate UI or game elements directly into the experience like this. Now, Brutal Legend is one of those games that has a dream idea. It's basically you're living a death metal fantasy, if the awesome cover art there doesn't give you any indication. Now, one thing please to keep in mind, you will not be hearing any music in this play. Simply because I've had enough trouble with copyright claims on random games like Darkest Dungeon and Spelunky. A game like this would basically be flagged probably within milliseconds of me posting it on YouTube. So unfortunately, you won't be able to hear the awesome soundtrack here. But Brutal Legend is a very fascinating game, and it shows that level of creativity from Double Fine. And again, this is one of those games that I don't think a game like this will have been made otherwise. With that said though, it has one of the strangest problems I think that would doomed it in the AAA market, but we'll be coming back to that one later. But let's get into the game now, and we can show off at least part of the gameplay. Alright, welcome back to the game. Let's make sure we are actually using the right controls. So, Brutal Legend at the start is basically an open world game with some very impressive lore and art design. Like we said, this is basically living in a fantasy world as governed by death metal. And as interesting parts, we use metal to basically summon spells. That's our powers. So let me summon my car here. And you can see the soundtrack in the bottom left. Again, unfortunately, you will not be hearing any music in this play. I also have to get used to back into these controls. There's my nitro. I'm sure that gets me out of it. And we're going to just drive along here. So the story, if you missed it, once I get out of this little alcove here, is that we've been transported to this fantasy land after shenanigans at a rock concert.
Who's in there?
And the game also features a lot of the major mainstays of voice acting from Double Fine. Oh, I'm just about to kill myself. Or maybe not. Nope, we're still good. I got an achievement too for that. So we have Jack Black, Jennifer Hale, and a huge variety of metal artists, including Dio, Lenny before his passing a few years ago, Ozzy, and so on. More names than I know, and I'm sure for any metal fans watching, you probably have recognized most of the voices in this game by now. But again, look at this art direction. This is just really amazing stuff. So we have the whole map that's open. There are missions to go on, which unlock more of the world. But for the most part, you're given mostly free reign to explore. These are some of the enemies here. And as we go around, the point of exploring is to find both lore and unlockable powers and such. I think I just killed something there. And as you play through the game, you unlock more abilities and things that will let you explore and find some of these items easier. So I'm trying to... that's right. We'll just go east here. I believe this is going to be a dead end, at least for this part of the game. Ah. Did I unlock this already? Let's see. So the idea is you use your metal powers and then you find these upgrades. Again, everything has chrome and spikes in this world. So what I just did was unlock a new solo, and the solos are your spells.
I can't wait to try that out.
Oh, and if we come over here, the tour book basically represents your lore, everything that's going on here. Again, you can tell that Double Fine put a lot of care into this universe. So these are like the enemies or the characters we've just unlocked. Your army is made up of headbangers. The enemies are hairbangers from the 80s glam rock scene. And then there's a demon army as well. Ooh, don't want to try and kill that guy. And you can also unlock new upgrades for your car. Are you? Oh, and the stage lights up there actually show you where the next mission is, or your next waypoint. So I'm trying to get back into the controls here. This is still very early on in the game. I beat this on the 360, I think, back in the day, but I haven't played it again on the PC. So here we have another upgrade. The rally flag is essentially creating a rally point for fans of real-time strategy games. But keep that in the back of your mind, as that will be a major part when we get to a few more minutes into this dissection. So as you can see, the world is definitely very big, and again, we're only going to be able to show basically like the first third of it for this dissection. But look, we have like giant pipes there. I think I'm about to hit something chrome. Oh! And that's fine. We just died in a sea of chrome. Is that metal enough for you? Let me see. Hope it did it preserve what I just found? Yeah, yes it did. You can also ride animals.
Good one. You are one dangerous animal. You know that?
And Jack Black, I think, did a pretty good job as our hero here, whose name completely escapes me right now. So these are the powers we have to get through. And what I want to show next is... Oh, and while I'm doing this, let me see. Can I show the actual soundtrack from here? And when I played this before, I did this on hard, which was a very challenging ordeal. But there's also lore statues that you can find that talk more about the world itself and the gigantic history that Double Fine created for Brutal Legend. So let me... here we go. So here are only 40% of the songs. But yeah, there is a lot here. And again, more that I haven't unlocked for this play. Again, if I play enough, it will be flagged almost within milliseconds.
Keeping this land safe.
Oh, that's one of our friends. So what I want to show is, let's come over here to the Motor Forge. This is where we can upgrade. And these red flowers indicate like important stuff. And I hate to do this to you folks, but I am going to have to mute the voice acting for this part because again, I don't know just how bad the copyright claims will be on this. And that's our friend Ozzy here. But this is where we go to unlock new abilities, effigies that can pop up, special moves, combos, clothing, all that good stuff. So you basically transform your axe here, and you can choose which one you want, and that gives you a bonus. Again, a whole lot of stuff to go for. But let's get out here. And basically for this first part of the game, Brutal Legend is an open world style title. We have the side missions and we have the main ones to go on. And we basically do it all on foot here. So you have different combos. Block. And so on. And the story is well done. Again, it's basically a death metal fantasy. Again, because I'm early in, there's not a lot I can really do right now. But I was trying to see if there were any other hidden stuff that I did not get to that I can talk about here. But what I will do is, let's see, we are right there. I know. We'll drive along to this mission, and we will get through the... here's something. So, these are basically lore statues. And I will turn back on the voice. Oh, no, we don't want music, sadly.
I gotta ungag this dude.
So, let's see if I remember. There we go.
Roar, little dragon. Roar.
So, once we get enough of those, we'll get an upgrade. And we'll also unlock more of the lore of the world. And some of the areas later in are just, like, amazing in terms of its art direction. There's a giant wall of speakers. Oh, here's something. Here's some more collectibles. Completing missions earns us fans as well, but we can also find... Oh, I'm sorry. Earns us, like, little flames. That's our currency, but we can also find them in the world. Again, driving is a little bit of a challenge here. Got it. We're basically getting rewards from the metal gods, as you can see. So in order to do this, we have to raise the relic.
Woohoo! I think that's my favorite one so far.
And this will unlock more things and kind of gives us some fast travel options. Let's try not to get ourselves killed again. And can we get it? Yay. Alright. So let's go on a little mission here with our headbangers.
Hey, who we ambushing?
Bad guys. Wanna help?
If you got room, I'd be honored to fight by your side.
And we basically free them with the power of rock. You notice that it looks like an album cover as well. So we have our little crew here.
Whoa, I think there were more dudes this time.
No, that's how many there were last time, I'm pretty sure.
And each enemy in the game, or each character, has a special, like, team-up power. Alright, so I can use the face melter here. Which melts faces, as you can see.
Yeah! Yeah! That's all right! Another successful ambush, dudes.
and we get a little bit of rewards for that. But each unit in the game has a combination that goes with whoever you're playing with. So right now we're playing as Jack Black's character, but there's three other ones that we can play as. And this is supposed to be a form of synergy with when we get to actual combat, when we're controlling our units. I could have also used the battle cry here. And as you go through the game, you unlock more things. And again, the world will grow. So let me see. We are over here. And there's also hidden songs as well. I'm pretty sure they're one of like the most ultimate solos in the game is you summon a Led Zeppelin. And I'm not kidding, you summon a literal Led Zeppelin that comes down and kills everybody. I mean, right there, that's got to earn this game some major props, right? But yeah, this was definitely a dream project by Tim Schafer and the rest of Double Fine to make. Oh, and there's another one.
Ride my sweet nectar.
Get him going. And I mean, so far, for those of you watching this, I'm sure you're all loving what you're seeing. An open world death metal fantasy. Sounds like the greatest game ever. And let me just grab this, I hope. Boom. And we'll move on to our next part. Yeah, I'm trying to remember where that solo was. I'm pretty sure it's like off the beaten path. The game rewards exploration. You don't get the ability to basically auto-find or detect collectibles in the world until like very far in. I think it's actually maybe something that unlocks once you've beaten the game. So they definitely want you to do some exploring. Did I just kill myself again? Yeah. A lot of ways to die in the open world. But I think it is time to talk about the elephant in the room here. And to do that, we are going to have to go to the game's multiplayer. And trust me, it will make sense in a minute. Alright, we are in the multiplayer options here. Let me get back here. For Brutal Legend. And the reason why we're here is that I'm keeping things off here to explain this. Brutal Legend takes a very big curve about a quarter to halfway through the game. And it introduces what's called stage battles. And this is a completely different system compared to the rest of the game. And this became the most polarizing element, which we are going to show off here. So we're doing this in AI practice mode, but when you're playing the game for real, this is a required part of it. I'm also going to keep it on the easiest setting because I suck at this mode, and it's been a very long time since I played it. So you have your three factions, Ironhead, Drowning Doom, and the Tainted Coil, and that determines who your hero is, as well as what units you can build. Different maps. Again, you can see the impressive visual, and the art design of the game here in these map videos. But we'll keep things simple. And we'll get into it. Now, one of the things that's very interesting about this is that this kind of design is very reminiscent of the PC game Sacrifice. Now, Sacrifice was a very popular game back in the day. And I'm going to pause it again so I can explain it because it will be very hard to talk and play. But Sacrifice was about basically ground level strategy. You manage your units with your hero, and you basically kept to the ground, taking over points and trying to raise your army. And the game had like a very wide variety of units, but it was more again about this low-level strategy rather than, you know, a grand or macro level, such as commanding an entire army, base building, and stuff like that. But we can fly. We have our solos again. So we have commands. So the idea is we use fans here to power our stage. So we have to go out. Trying to remember if there's a way to see a map.
Okay, I'm building a special forces unit.
Oh, that was just one of my commands here. Alright, so here's the enemies faction. So the idea is we have to come to a... Oh yeah, so this thing is basically keeping the fans down.
Shaka Supreme! Demon Slaughter!
Oh, there's the enemies' armies. And that's their avatar. And that's Tim Curry as well. So the avatars cannot be killed permanently. If we kill them...
Silence! Die!
We'll just come back in a few minutes.
Those wings surely.
So what I will do is summon some folks. And you use your fans to power you. Use the left button to create a command beacon, as you can see. So what I will do is use the rally flag. This will tell them to all to come to this position once they've been spawned.
Dude! Over here! Rocket sauce!
Trying to remember how we get this guy out of here. I think we need our army to do it. Oh, so the first one came, but because the other group was spawned before. There we go. So now they're going to come. Come on.
Right here.
Follow me, boys.
Stay here and look alert. Gather round me, warriors!
Hey, Eddie.
So they're
Wanna
attacking.
hook up?
Now again, each character gets a special ability. So we can
Get out
combine.
here.
Now those guys are screwed.
Teamwork.
Where are headbangers?
Oh, look, Daddy!
Get behind me and look alert.
Alright, everyone, let's go.
Kick some ass! On it, dude.
Yep.
There we go. So now that we can create another merch shop.
Let me try that again.
Oops. Oh, looks like we have fighting going on here. And combat, or the RTS part of Brutal Legend, is very rock, paper, scissors based. So we just gave a boost.
That's the spirit.
Oh. Get him.
Good job on that one.
Get there, you.
You only make me.
And everyone has like the same general combos as well. Oh. Are you dead yet? There we go. So he's dead, and he will respawn. But we have the rally flag here. So I'll recruit a few more. And you can see we have a unit count, and we have resources to manage. But as I said, combat is very rock, paper, scissors based. Units will counter each other very hard, and it's very easy for the counter to just wipe out their strength. I'm sorry. Again, this is not an easy game to talk and play to. So we'll get more fans.
What? Gather round me, warriors!
So you can defend.
Oh, looky there.
But where are you going? Oh, we said.
Come here! Kill them all!
There you go. That'll get them all to that point, and they'll defend. We've unlocked a new tier. Now we come over here, there's another one we can take. So he's forming his own army. You can see our what's spawning in the upper right. So now, if I wanted to, we can plant the flag. Let's see, will this work? I think we need to land first. There we go. And what I need to do is get my guys over here.
I want you to look for it whenever you step on the field of battle.
They'll be attacking. Now, our main army is here defending our point. We can also teleport characters, but we have cooldowns on all the major spells. Now, I hope you notice that the AI is being very passive. That's because this is on the easiest setting. When you're playing this on hard, it is another story entirely. Come on, you guys coming here? But we'll do another combination.
Aim at their hearts, wherever they keep them.
So we have a catapult here.
Let's screw.
So this will be perfect for dealing with siege. So they'll all stay here and defend, I hope. Well, I'll head over here and help them deal with this thing. Good. Then we'll leave.
That was awesome.
And let's summon another.
Beautiful.
But I hope you're noticing that this is not easy to manage multiple groups, as you can see.
Don't let anyone near our merchandise.
Alright. The system is very context sensitive. Alright, I want you guys to follow me. Come on. Come on, guys.
You guys are my personal honor guard, okay?
So what I'm going to do is put an order here.
Ass Kickers Unite! Move
There we go.
toward the light!
Move them over there. And again, the game is more about the micro side of strategy. As we're dealing with these small units, we can only be focusing really on one part of the combat or one part of the field at a time because of our avatar here. Upgrade the stage again. Up, and here we go. Look at our army. We're ready to rock.
Freaky bondage loving pervert.
Screw you, demons.
Go, team, go!
That against them.
But yeah, as we can see, they're fighting each other pretty well. Again, different combos will work against different units, which is why you need a wide variety. To know about what they do, if I can bring it up, which I don't know if I can do it here, you can see all the units we have. So this is a melee infantry, the bouncer, which is good against vehicles. The head splitter is range. And again, this is a game that's really built around hard counters. And once you know what they are, you have to manage your army accordingly. Because again, if the wrong counters fight each other, your army will wipe out almost immediately. So we've unlocked the final group. So I will get some of the heavier dudes to help us. Oh, that's a big guy.
Feel ugly.
Flag is up.
I did what I should.
So what I will do, I think, once our last guy is summoned, and then the ultimate one is tier 3,
Freak show.
I'll activate the power. There we go. Come to me, my army, with the power of rock.
I need you guys.
I know.
Bring me their head.
Go, team, go.
You almost got it.
Get in there. Fight, fight, fight. And to win, you basically have to attack the stage. So I will get in this thing. And we'll just keep damaging his stage.
Feel like giving me a lift? Time to shut these creeps down. Oh no!
Die. Is my army here?
Automobile.
Demons, I'm back off the Viking.
Sorry, Tim.
Here we go. Right with these girls.
I'm on these guys.
Let's see.
Oh, what happened there? Oh, there they are. The speakers are anti-building
Those are
characters.
fans of the tainted coil, and you can never change that.
Oh, I'm about to get killed, am I?
From our stage.
Boom.
Vanish.
Yes.
But yeah, the speakers here, they are the anti-stage. They should deal with it. Boom.
Now you know what real metal sounds like.
And there's our brutal victory. And again, very interesting mode, but this is completely different from the rest of the game. And this is where the very debated parts about Brutal Legend came in, because people weren't expecting this kind of ground-based strategy layer in a open world death metal fantasy game. It would be like if Metal Gear Solid 5 halfway through introduced mandatory kart racing levels that you had to complete in order to progress through the game. And as you can see, I definitely had some trouble managing my units. It was designed with a gamepad in mind. So things like setting up hotkeys, control groups, and things that we as PC gamers, so for those of you who are watching this who are on the PC, know about, it was very much a downgrade. And Sacrifice dealt with this by keeping things very small, and units could just be summoned directly to you. It did feature rock, paper, scissors style combat, but it was a lot more variety with the different units. And maybe we'll do a Dissecting Design on Sacrifice at some point. But with Brutal Legend, it was just very hard to properly control your units. This is a game where you could be busy fighting and then realize that all your geysers have been taken down and your units were still stuck at some rally point you left like 5 minutes ago. But the ground level combat is pretty good, as you can see with the different powers and the avatars fighting. But it does require a lot of practice, again, because of the fact that it has that rock, paper, scissors. In one of the later battles in the game, if you built like the wrong unit to start out with and the enemy just counters you, you're basically screwed. And the reason is that the system of Brutal Legend is built heavily on basically momentum. Each fan geyser you take lets you build more fans or get more fans, which means you can upgrade more, which lets you get better units. Similar to Sacrifice as well, that it also had that case of the rich getting richer. If you can deal with your opponent, deliver a massive victory early on, usually they will not be able to come back to it. And same goes for Brutal Legend. Again, some of the later story missions, it puts you really much at a weakened pace, and the only way for you to win is to basically turtle up and hope to deliver a strong enough victory to turn that tide. And then once you've done it, it's basically over. But again, when you put this next to the open world and the story missions, they just don't fit together. This isn't the same as a multi-system game like XCOM, where you have these different layers of mechanics, and they all coalesce together and work together as well. As we've talked about with XCOM in the past, you have the base building, which gives you more units and troops, which you then or research to take into the tactical battles. The tactical battles get you the resources that you take back to your bases. And there's that synergy approach, which Brutal Legend doesn't have. Basically, all the story, all the open world gameplay stops for the stage battles. And then vice versa. The stage battles don't have any real like upgrades to them. There's no real persistence from the story that you take into them, other than getting the solos, which again, most of those solos work in the story missions. So it just feels like the game is split. But let's get back into the driving around and we'll wrap things up for this episode. With Brutal Legend, the game got basically some decent reviews. A lot of people loved the storytelling and the world building that they did, that Double Fine did, but it definitely divided fans when it came to the RTS battles.
Keeping this land safe.
Thank you guys. And that's kind of the issue here, because no one really knew about this mode going into the game. Like, they were talking about having multiplayer, but in terms of like how it was going to play out, we didn't really know about it until it was fully out and people were reviewing it. And again, this is kind of the risk you run when you try to combine genres and when you set things up to be so different. And Brutal Legend also ended on, just like as any other game, with a major cliffhanger, which unfortunately we will probably never see that come out.
Looks like something inside there's dying to get out. Love fountain. Ride my sweet neck.
Oh yeah, I think we need a special song we get later on to do that. But following Brutal Legend's unfortunate failure to win over a lot of people, that was kind of the end between EA and Double Fine, and Double Fine basically no longer being a AAA developer at that point. Of course, as history goes, they went on to become an independent studio, and they kind of led the crowdfunding push with, of course, Broken Age. But since then, they've had some very mixed results with their games. You had something like Brutal Age, or Broken Age, I'm sorry, I just combined both games. Broken Age, which got some decent reviews, but I know a lot of people were a little bit more critical on the second one. Massive Chalice was alright. Here's a little bit more about the lore building as well. We can see just how crazy this place looks. But then they also had failures such as Space Base DF9, which maybe at some point we'll need to take a look at. And of course, we're still eagerly waiting Psychonauts 2. But at least Double Fine is going on. But like I said, the chance of us ever seeing a sequel or wrapping up the story most likely is not going to happen. Which is a shame too, because they definitely spent a lot of time with this world and what they were trying to basically get away with, this rock and roll fantasy. For those of you watching this who did play Brutal Legend at its launch, what did you think of the game? Again, I know some friends who loved the stage battles, especially those who played the original Sacrifice and were fans on the PC side. But again, the mode was just such a far cry from the rest of the game that it kind of felt, again, like it segmented the design. Let's drive around here a little bit more. Oh, look, another statue.
I give you love.
You can see up there, there's 120 of those things total to find. And unfortunately, I think we're going to be doing that in this play. Oh, maybe we can unlock at least a little bit of the lore.
Ride my sweet nectar.
Armageddon is kind of like our metal god here in this game. And if you notice, I have a res paint job on the back of my Deuce here. Well, we may just do it.
Love fountain.
So you can, again, you can tell that the R team had a lot of fun making this game. From all the units. Again, very high quality in terms of voice acting as well. Uh-oh. Let's try not to fall to our death. Oh, good. There's one last one. Let me get this, and we can get our reward. I hope.
Love fountain.
Did it work? Game is a little bit buggy in some places, I think. Oh. It may not have worked because we were in a bad area. But I should be able to look at it. Usually there's a place in the cutscenes. Though I may not be able to see it here. Yeah, probably not. But this has been Brutal Legend. Again, a very unique game, which unfortunately I think was a little too unique for its own good. But let me know what you think in the comments below, and thanks for watching this week's Dissecting Design. If you're new, be sure to leave a like and a comment.
Get the F out of Dodge.
And if you have a suggestion for a future critical thought,
We're just keeping this
please let
land
me know.
safe.
I'm sorry I wasn't as talkative in this one. This is one of those games that it's just very hard to concentrate on playing, discussing, and talking all at the same time. And again, sometimes you just get like in awe at the visual design. Too bad I didn't find the Led Zeppelin upgrade, because that would be a perfect capper. Where am I anyway? Oh, I'm over here. But again, there's just a ton to explore here. And a ton of places to die. But that is going to do it. There's our headbangers fighting. But until next time, have a great rest of the week. And be sure to check back daily for more Dissecting Designs. So until then, see you all next time. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and of course share with your friends. It always helps out. For daily posts on all manner of game design and industry topics, check out game-wisdom.com. To support the site and everything that I do, be sure to check out the Patreon campaign. If we can hit goals, it will mean more content for everyone to enjoy, and I'll be able to support myself and my household. If you want to follow me, you can find me on Twitter at GW for updates throughout the day and random thoughts from me. And lastly, you can find me on Twitch right over there at GW for daily streams most nights around 10 Eastern. Thanks again for watching the video, and be sure to check out more great content coming to the Game Wisdom channel real soon.